The Maharashtra state government has asked housing body MHADA to review its vast residential colonies and redevelop them to house more people in a very land-starved city. An urgent move considering that MHADA, the last resort for affordable housing in Mumbai, is fast running out of land. Now, can redevelopment help MHADA deliver on its affordable housing promise? And what can it do to acquire more land? Ankita Sinha finds out.
These rundown buildings are part of the Maharashtra Housing and Area Development Authority or MHADA's vast network of residential colonies spread throughout the city. These colonies provide much needed affordable housing to nearly 7 to 8 lakh people. As densely packed as they are now, this is bound to increase even further with the state government directing MHADA to review its colonies and redevelop them.
There is definitely space to accommodate another 2 lakh at least houses. In those premises that MHADA has. So, which is not a very large number, but it is a substantial number.
Densification of existing colonies is now the housing body's top priority as its land bank is rapidly shrinking, posing a threat to its affordable housing plans. Buying more land from the market is difficult as MHADA has to compete with private developers who are able to outbid MHADA.
MHADA doesn't have land anymore. So it only has to indulge itself into reconstruction of buildings. That's the only way it can build. Otherwise, there is no vacant land with MHADA left anymore.
They are unable to partake into the biddings of new lands because today every creation of every new land bank goes through private biddings, etc. And MHADA, because of its mandate, is not in a position to fight against so many private developers who can resort to different ways and means to creation of higher values, higher FSIs, premiums, etc., which MHADA can't.
While MHADA might want to do it alone, they will have to keep an eye on the affordability aspect while deciding on premium and allotment of units and FSI.
If the state kind of controls redevelopment projects in a manner that it makes it accessible for people who require housing in a particular, because these are public resources, these are not private resources, these are public resources. Government is putting in money also, and it's public land. It has to go for, you don't have to kind of give outright sale.
Experts have also suggested unlocking land held by government agencies to help MHADA.
Land banks which are currently government or semi-government holdings, whether it is armed forces or the port trust lands, etc., can be passed on to MHADA for redevelopment, because that's the only way where private developments or the concern of people that land is going into private development can be taken care of.
MHADA has a crisis. It needs to acquire more land if it wants to come up with more affordable housing projects, and redeveloping its colonies is a piecemeal approach. The state government must now step in to ensure MHADA is given access to the land holdings that it has to ensure that the dream of housing for all comes through. From Mumbai, Ankita Sinha for NDTV.
Well, we can only hope that organizations like MHADA actually roll up their sleeves and dig in deep when it comes to really delivering affordable housing. Moving on, Sanjay Wadhwani on the phone line with us, and he's got a question. Sanjay, hi, go ahead.
Hi ma'am, I have a budget of 30 to 35 lakhs and I want to invest in Pune. So please suggest me the best options and offers so I can invest my money there.
All right, so Pune is a market. I must say it's a very good investment market. Lowest inventory overhang, least months of delays. The average delays, I got the prop equity figure from your head research, 2011 to 2014. Pune has been the best market in terms of delivery. Yeah. Isn't it, Sameer?
Yeah, I would agree with you there. A large number of developers, projects are typically smaller in size, so easier to build. That was also a part of the reduction of the report. That was that if the project is of smaller size, it gets completed faster.
Yeah.
The reason why we've selected Keshav Nagar and Hadapsar in this query is because your requirement was both invest and end use. That's why we had to keep a balance there where you can even want to, if you want to live there earlier, you can choose to live there. So the social infrastructure should be properly available in this given budget. So that's the reason why we've taken Hadapsar and Keshav Nagar. Hadapsar's got inventory overhang of 27 months, but it's one of the most evolved micro markets of Pune, where there's a big walk-to-work culture. There's the Magarpatta city and the Amanora township there. Keshav Nagar is at 16 months. The Hadapsar's weighted average price is 6,000 rupees, whereas Keshav Nagar is about 4,900. On the price appreciation chart, both are similar. Hadapsar at 11% and Keshav Nagar at 10%. Keshav Nagar is just 3 kilometers to Koregaon Park. So Koregaon Park is one of the most expensive micro markets now in the Pune side. Leisure Town Well-Wisher Group in Hadapsar is the first recommendation. This is an integrated township of 22 odd acres. Will have a school, hospital and convenience shops in the complex itself. It's a joint venture between Well-Wisher and Sai Proviso Builders. It's going to be delivered in phases. Phase 1 is just launched. Livoke Phase 1 by Ram India Landmarks. This is the second project at 5700. This is 4 residential towers in all, located 500 meters just from the Magarpatta city IT hub, where there are big companies, and this project is got a commercial already ready in this project, and phase 2 will be launched in future. Eve's Garden by Sancheti Builders, Keshav Nagar is at 4500. This is a 5.5 acre project. Construction at mid stage. Keshav Nagar is a developing location located 2 kilometers from Magarpatta IT hub and 3 kilometers from Koregaon Park. So it's an upcoming location to be watched out for, because Koregaon Park has rates trading between 10 to 15,000 rupees a square foot.
Absolutely. I know it is the place to be in if you're living in Pune. All right, so here are your choices. Pune, 40 lakh rupees. If anybody is interested, well, it's a great city, as we've just established, to invest your money and also to live in. Last question. This one is from Akhil Tripathi. He says, I'd like to post a query about property in Lucknow. I'm providing my requirements, budget 35 to 40 lakhs, Lucknow anywhere within this budget in a nice locality, independent house or a 2 BHK flat. My God, independent houses, I think.
So independent villas will be definitely out of the budget.
It's very ambitious.
A few options will be available in the outskirts, however, but we would not recommend you to go there, because markets are anyway slow. You have to be very careful that you're within an employment generation zone or in the heart of the city at this point in time, because you never know how long this cycle may last. Keeping that in mind, we've got 2 micro markets, which is the biggest one is the Vrindavan Yojana micro market, which is being developed by the government, and they've got 5,000 acres of land there, and many private developers are coming in that area to develop great condos, townships, villa developments. Inventory overhang on Rai Bareli Road is 28 months, which is where we're talking about Vrindavan Yojana. 3,200 rupees is the weighted average price of the market, and the price appreciation has been about 8.5%. Lucknow market is also, for all our other viewers, has become extremely slow. So that should be kept in mind.
It was such an investor-driven market,
yes,
Sameer.
So when investors have really gone out of the market, Lucknow has got affected. Eldigo Shubhagyam by Eldigo Infrastructure. This project is spread about 11 odd acres. It has all the basic amenities that you could want, including a big swimming pool and a large play area. It's just 300 meters from Amar Shahid Path and 1.5 kilometers from the Rethia railway station. And the second recommendation is RG Eurofia by RG Infrastructure City. This is a small project on 2.5 acres, so density is not very good, 220 apartments. Developer has got a tie-up with 16 banks for home loans. That's strange. Usually there are only about 4 to 5 banks that fund any project. Project has 16 banks.
Good Lord. So, is it good, bad, or
it's very good. I think there's so much more due diligence that would have been done on this project. Lastly, Anant by Horizon Developments, Sector 11, Vrindavan Yojana. This project is the cheapest out of the lot, 2,950 rupees a square foot. It's spread across 4 acres. And this project has good amenities, luxury amenities, in fact, including a skywalk, shower, sauna bath, gymnasium, skywash court, party hall, skating room, auditorium, intercom, besides a big clubhouse. So I think this is a project that you should also consider.
All right, so 3 projects in Lucknow. It's an investor-driven market. It's slowed down, but then markets have a way of recovering as well. It's an upcoming city, and definitely one that you must keep an eye out for. So Eldeco, that's one project, RG Euphoria and Anant Horizon that we just showed you. With that, we'll wrap today's edition. Sameer, thanks very much for providing us all the data and taking us through those top cities of India and top picks. You can also tune into the show on Radio City we have every Saturday between 2 to 3 p.m. Thank you all for watching and see you soon. Goodbye.